What's going on, everybody? Welcome, welcome. I forgot here. There's the names. I don't really know if we need to put names on, though. I feel like people just know. What are we going with? What's the vibe? I think the vibe's going to be something like this. Sort of matches. There we go. Rishabh, you're late. Just kidding.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
We're both wearing white today. Hold on. I don't like this background. I thought I changed it. Goodness. All right. We'll see. I'm trying to figure out which one fits better. Which one fits the vibe better. That one probably.
Yeah.
I don't like this background. Let's see what else we got. I guess that's fine.
See the new banners. Look pretty cool.
Honestly, it's just like a template that I found, and then I
Okay.
replaced. I put RCC Show.
Nice.
I figured we could probably configure it more later on, but for now, no, it's fine. What's up? You said you just got home.
Yeah. I was at the gym when you pinged me.
Oh yeah. What do you do at the gym? Do you cardio, lift?
Oh, leg. It was leg day.
Oh yeah, nice. Never
Yeah.
skip leg day.
No.
I had a I had a list of questions that I know people had asked before, and I wanted to like get to them. That weren't necessarily asked on stream, but I figured I could probably use the stream to. Should I type them out though? Where are the questions? Hold on. Comments. Hey, I'm about to get my SAA. I have done a lot of projects and you know what? I'm just gonna copy this, and then we'll paste it in there, and then we can address that in there. It's gonna be a long one. I'm about to get I've done. Apply for jobs after I get my, or should I,
Cool.
I can't. Oh, you know what? I could probably stick it in as a comment in here, right? Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right. Goodness. All right, that's a good one. We'll do this. Okay. I'm about to get my SAA. I have done a lot of projects and can very easily set up VPC, S3 buckets, and so on. Should I apply for jobs after I get my Solutions Architect Associate, or should I wait until I get higher level certs? And if so, what job title should I focus on? So, one thing I didn't realize, unfortunately, is that this person obviously isn't in the chat. This is from a question in one of the videos. But I feel like there's some missing background here, because it's like, all right, well, what IT background do you have? That's kind of important here. Do you have a degree? That might matter here. Should I apply for jobs outside of this certification? What other, I've done lots of projects. Okay. Are these projects documented? Stuff like that. Those are like quite important questions. But I guess some general advice is, if you feel like you have a lot of like hands-on projects and that you can set up stuff pretty easily with VPC, S3, and so on, I think that's probably like cloud admin stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, and if you can do that and you get your solutions architect, you could probably start applying to jobs. If you don't have any other tech experience, you might find it hard to like land cloud roles. I feel like everyone's gonna get tired, but we always say like go for a support role. But it is what it is. But that's, I guess, our general advice. Here's another one. I'm gonna keep posting them, and maybe I'll do it here.
Try it in private chat and then try highlighting it.
You can do that?
I think so. Because I have one.
You did? Try it.
Okay. So these are questions from my Twitter DMs.
Where are you putting it in private chat?
Yeah, and I want to see if I can highlight it. No.
Maybe
Banners?
Banners. Let's see. Whoops. Windows 11.
Yeah, and we can delete it. Yeah, cool.
Do you have to have a certain type of personality or the right type of personality to work in cloud engineering? I don't think it's specific to cloud engineering, though. I think in tech, if you have the right mix of of like someone who always wants to learn,
Hmm.
but also because I hear a lot of like people who don't want to talk to anyone ever and they just want to be in tech. I don't necessarily think cloud engineering would be like a good role for that because you're gonna have to communicate to your teams, and that might even be something that we could probably say tech in general, right?
Yeah, I
How,
think most teams now are like it's more of a collaborative work, even across teams. Like think of a product that's not launched and they're figuring out a launch. There are several teams that you would have to collaborate together to get it launched. And I think just in general, like you need to be a people, not like you should be able to work with people and not be
yeah,
like a arrogant.
yeah. I mean, you might be able to get away with not like talking to
Yeah.
people, but you know, how far do you want to develop your career? You're always gonna need to like build bridges and communicate and stuff like that. So it's only gonna sort of hold you back if you don't want to. But I
Mm,
wouldn't necessarily say that's the right personality. It's more of like, yeah, you want to work hard. You want to, you know, build these rapport and these relationships and just be able to communicate and improve your communication skills. I don't know if that's the right personality, but in terms of like, I guess, people stuff, I would
yeah.
say that's important. Yeah, let's use banners for that one. I have a few more that I'm going to add. But if you have one, you can go ahead and add
Yeah,
it.
I just added one. Show. Okay. Can you please guide me for cloud security?
Oh, that's good because
Um,
I just got one that said something about cloud security engineers too, so we can bang that one out.
cool. Yeah, my niche right now is not cloud security. So the only tips that I could give is based off some Google searches. um, I could do say that you need a solid foundation on how networks work, how networking works, and how web itself works. That'll
Yeah,
help you a lot when it comes to like research required for cloud security roles and stuff, and how you can secure your cloud assets. And then after networking and web, I would spend some time on one particular cloud because I think you can take that framework and basically apply it to all different, like all other vendors of cloud, but just have a mindset of how like VPC works, how ingress, egress traffic comes in, goes out, what kind of security you can have. I'm pretty sure every cloud provider has some sort of firewall and other like gateway services, and they all work the same ways. Just build a foundation around that. I think would be a good start if you're just starting out in cloud security. I don't know. What about you, Brent?
yeah.
Do you have
Gaining
any?
a like just the foundation of like any cloud, anything in cloud, right? Would be, you
Hmm.
know, like what we base learn to cloud on: Linux, networking, scripting, cloud platform, DevOps. Cover those your basics, and then you can like couple that with like going in on security and sort of like your specialization would be security.
Yep.
But it's still at the end of the day cloud computing. So, you know, if you're strong in your pillars, you couple it with a specialty like security or a specialty like data or a specialty like, you know, whatever it might be, you're
Hmm.
going to be pretty good. That's what I would say. Yeah. So when the person that asked me the question was in response to my video that I did, sort of utilizing Learn to Cloud as like how would I learn to become a cloud engineer in 2022. Yeah, I think it's still like it's going to be the same foundation for everyone, no matter what sort of area you want to specialize in cloud. Someone says here, "What's going on, GPS?" Hello, King Jeff. I hope that's how you pronounce your name. Hello, how are you doing? Here's an interesting one that I got, and I don't know your opinion. Where did it go? I added it here. Hold on. Did you delete it, Rishab?
No.
Here we go. Yeah, you did. Opinion on Web3. Do you have an opinion on Web3?
Me?
Yeah.
I know way less to have opinion, I guess. Um, I know like the how it's supposed to work, like how it works. I just don't know like what the potential can be. Like I still have to dive into that space, I guess, to see if it'll be the future or not.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you
I've
are you
heard people say it's like this is gonna change everything, just like Web 2.0 did to Web 1. It's just that I'm, like I said, I haven't researched this topic a lot, apart from like investing in few things.
Yeah, I think it might have it has its potential. I think especially with like the financial aspect with what like blockchain technology brings.
Hmm.
Just like my overview as like someone who's in tech and who has to learn so much stuff, I think I'm pretty well situated with like my career in web 2 and like making an income in web 2 and then using that to invest in web 3. But I cannot invest time. I can invest like money, but like I can't put in time because it's like it's just like what a world, right? The thing is
Yeah.
but I think maybe if this was a couple years back and I was sort of trying to figure out what I wanted to specialize in, I can see me looking at Web3 and being in like the same way that I looked at cloud, like when I first started with clouds, like,
Hmm.
back in 2016, I was like, oh, this was kind of the new thing. Let me get in on it early, which it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah, yeah.
necessarily early. I would say early cloud was probably like 2010, like
Mm.
those kind of times, right? So I kind of caught it like in halfway, but
Yeah.
like certifications were still pretty new.
Hmm.
All that kind of stuff was pretty new, right? So I think if I were to go back then and like Web3 was a thing then, I think I might have like try to like dive into it and turn that into a career. But now I'm like so in cloud that it's like, what am I gonna just toss all this away to like switch over to Web3 just because like everyone says it's the next thing? No, it's like okay, I can still invest
Yeah.
and stuff like that, but I just can't invest time. So that's my
Hmm.
opinion. And in terms of like if it there's I think the way I look at it is like when the dot-com boom happened, I'm sure there was a lot of people that were like, "Oh, this is fake. This is a fraud," and then some people were like, "This is the best thing ever," and then some people were like, right down the middle.
Hmm.
I tend to be like right down the middle because firsthand I've seen how technology can like change literally everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I try to not be the person who causes drama over like such harsh opinions on either side. It's more like if you're in tech, read about it, educate yourself on it. If you
Yeah.
want to like learn, go learn. But if you want to not learn and just invest, do that. If you don't want to do anything, then don't do anything. You'll be fine. Just don't like cause like fights. I think that's pretty
No, for
much
sure.
my my opinion. If I were to try to switch from working in a SOC to a cloud career, what would be the best skills to leverage? SOC is a Security Operations Center. I
I
think so.
think so.
I think that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
Security Operations Center. Yeah, cool. Um, so I'm assuming you most likely have some Linux experience and some scripting experience. If it's security, you might have some networking experience as well. You got a great foundation there. Couple that
Hmm.
with more scripting. Get into a cloud and like lean into like if you already have like a security background, lean into cloud security. And then if you want to like dive into some other aspect of cloud later on, fantastic. But your goal is to get your foot in the door, right? So utilize like and everything that you've learned with security you can apply in the cloud. So just pick up a cloud provider, whichever one has the most opportunities in your area. Pick that one up. Understand how to implement the things that you've already implemented on premise in the cloud, and then I would say pick up. With projects that you're going to be doing for like your own portfolio, you're going to have to implement some DevOps practices.
Yeah.
But like you're pretty much like what more than halfway there.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. When it comes to the security kind of approach and thinking and the mindset you need to be in, I think he's like more than halfway there, and you just need to figure like just see the differences that is in like traditional um, environments and what cloud brings.
Mm-hmm.
And Gwen's suggestion about building projects, I think, would like give you that kind of knowledge on the inside of how things work, basically in the cloud.
Yeah.
Um, Apart from that, I don't know if you want to, because I know certifications hold
Oh,
a huge
security
value in
certs.
security, yeah,
Yeah.
I would suggest picking similar security certs in the cloud itself. So like Azure has AZ500, which I think is called Security Engineer
Hmm.
Associate, and Google has its own. I think it's called Security Engineer again, and then AWS has its Security Specialty cert. So yeah, any which of the cloud you pick the right cert. I think it would help you
Hmm.
to also like learn security focused applications or services that a cloud provider might provide
Yeah.
for that particular vendor.
Ah, I totally forgot. They have specialty certifications for security now. Yeah,
Hmm.
like do that. Couple what you have, work on your scripting, DevOps, cloud platform, and with the cloud platform, you'll if you pick like a certification, you'll probably learn it that way anyway. So it works out. But yeah, best of luck to you, Tech Tebs. Did you add more? Okay, no, we're done with this one. I think I had more here. Let's see. Look, working on SAA CO2. What is that? Solutions architect.
Yeah, the new solutions architect. So that is a great start.
New, like how new? Like new?
Yeah, they updated it this year or last year, maybe like 2021, I think.
Oh, look at this is the question we were responding at the beginning. Remember?
Yeah.
All right, so you left a comment on my video. We were actually trying to respond to it earlier, but I'm glad you're on the stream now because we had more questions to sort of provide you with more of an informed answer. Um, but you mentioned you're about to get your solutions architect certification, and if you should wait to go for higher certs before applying for a job. I have experience doing a lot of projects and setting up VPCs. Okay, cool. So our first question was, what is your background working in tech? Do you have some sort of background? Are you coming from like a support role or something like that? So let us know that. Second, do you have projects that are documented? Like you mentioned, you've done a lot of these projects. That's fantastic and you're pretty comfortable. Are these documented somewhere where, you have, you'd be able to just like bring them up and show them during an interview too? Let
Hmm.
us know that, and then we can sort of provide you more insight there. Brian asks, best cloud books for beginners.
Um,
Oh, that's great.
you go ahead.
So the Phoenix project is just fantastic to learn about DevOps practices that are very, very important for the cloud. The DevOps handbook is more of like the textbook, a companion to the Phoenix project. Cloud-specific books, I don't. Besides those two, I don't really know. Do you have any?
Yeah, I think especially for beginners, I think Cloud Computing for Dummies is a good one.
Ah, good one.
Yeah, their entire like series. If you check, they have other books. I think it just goes like XYZ for Dummies,
Yeah,
and they have a bunch of books. So they're pretty well laid out, especially for beginners.
yeah.
Yeah.
Also, not necessarily books, but I think you can find them in PDFs. The well architected
Oh
frameworks
yeah.
for each one of the clouds. So Google has it, Azure has it, AWS has it. Pick whichever one or read them all if you want to. They're very, very similar. I
Yeah.
was just going through the Azure one for a conference that I did last week, and
Nice.
it's not the most exciting thing to read unless you're like nerds like us who just love understanding like the underlying principles of cloud computing. But they're free. They're officially made by each one of the cloud providers, and you learn a lot about having like an excellent cloud infrastructure, which is
Hmm.
very important, right?
Yeah. And also, I think the FAQ section, especially, I know this for AWS. I don't know for Azure, but FAQ for services, any of the services that you are exploring, is a great resource too. Like there are really open-ended
Documentation,
questions. Yeah. So just
documentation,
go through the
documentation.
documentation for
Honestly,
that
yeah,
service.
books are hard to recommend when cloud because we'll have a new service every week. Really, there's impossible to keep up. But documentation is your best friend. I mean, I guess you could keep up with Learn to Cloud, our website too, because
Mm.
though we keep it pretty like the content is pretty like kind of just where it's going to be at. I do sometimes go in and like update resources, like if I find anything new, like this is sort of like foundational that you should like look into. I'll add it there. Maybe we should add a resource page that is just something that we update more frequently. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll look
and
into something like that. Or
Yeah.
maybe like a books or like must read stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I'll make sure that we have like handpicked them.
yeah, and it's stuff that we've actually gone
Yeah,
through,
yeah,
not just like random. I don't know, random stuff too. Uh, Adrian says Terraform hookup and running. I
Oh
think is a
yes.
great book for learning. Yeah, I think. I mean, if you wanted to get more specific into like technology, I could go in on books, right? You know, Linux Basic for Hackers,
Mm-hmm.
fantastic book. Tools and Weapons, if you're more interested in like the business side and the consequences that tech has and cloud computing has and data centers have, like versus like the actual tech. It's by Brad Smith. It's a fantastic book as well. There's the Unicorn Project, which is more about like software development and its importance and stuff like that. But if it's just like cloud specific, I would just say like documentation, the well architected,
Frameworks. Yeah.
frameworks, and the cloud computing for dummies that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But like text specific, then we could probably go in on like a bunch of
Yeah.
books.
But yeah, I would I agree with Adrian. That's how I started learning Terraform, and it's really good. Like the book. I think it's with O'Reilly.
O'Reilly
So
makes great stuff.
yeah.
Really, really, really great stuff. I have like we get like a free access to everything. Oh my
Yeah, that's
gosh!
why I was mentioning, because there are some schools that provide free access. So if you
Yeah,
have O'Reilly access, anyone in the chat, and you are trying to get into DevOps and learning like infrastructure as code, do check out like Terraform up and running.
yeah. I'm reading distributed applications at the moment, a book on that from O'Reilly. But it's hard because it's like I go into O'Reilly, I'm like, oh my goodness, there's so much here.
Oh yeah.
I start like so many books. I'll read like a chapter of this, a chapter of that, and like now because like so this is probably gonna be the last live stream I do for the year. So I'm off for the next like 2 weeks of
Hmm.
doing absolutely nothing. It's amazing because I don't have this time to just like sit down and just like learn whatever the heck I want for like an like focused amount of time. In 2 weeks, I could learn something pretty well. But
Hmm.
the issue is like with having access to all these resources, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to learn everything. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
learn
yeah.
Bicep, Terraform. I want to go deeper into Rust, deeper into .NET.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna settle on probably something more DevOpsy, maybe infrastructure as code.
Nice.
Or stuff like that. But we'll see. I mean, I named this stream what we're focusing on in 2022 because you and I have somewhat of a similar focus, though you're a little bit more like on the DevOps side, whereas I'm still more on like, I guess, more of a solution architecting side of things. But like, it's still like kind of like cloud native.
Yeah.
To an
I
extent.
think when it comes to like cloud native, we are on kind of on the same page with, like, we did a stream with Docker this year, and then I'm exploring Docker and Kubernetes. Like, I'm just diving into it
Yeah.
completely next year. And I think that's true for you. And then IAC with Terraform and Bicep and Packer is my go-to next year. So these three service like tools is what I'm
GCP,
looking at.
right?
No. So for the cloud platform that I'm exploring next year is GCP,
Mm-hmm.
but for the IAC stuff, it's Terraform, Packer, and Bicep,
Yeah, but
because Azure. So
you're
Bicep would be Azure, right?
yeah, Bicep is only in
Yeah.
Azure.
Yeah. So Terraform and Packer, I'll try to make it cloud agnostic. So the videos, so that I'm deploying it to all three clouds.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But yeah, for the cloud platform, it'll be GCP.
Cool. Yeah, we need more GCP content. I
Mhm.
feel like there's so much AWS stuff. It's just like, all right, GCP. There's not like there's just it needs more. Like
I just posted today that my community builder thing got renewed. I'm a community builder for another year, so you'll be seeing more AWS content.
I remember I got it. I got right into that like the week that I accepted a role at Microsoft. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah,
Could you imagine me doing AWS content? It's like it's not like I would never do it. It's just like I've never. I just like it just feels like I have like no.
I
I
see.
don't really bring anything to the table in that field because there's just like so much already,
Hmm.
right? Same. That's my problem. How do you stick to one at the beginning as a beginner?
As a
I think.
beginner, yeah.
Honestly, that problem doesn't go away because like with tech, it's also like especially once you become comfortable with like a set of tools. It's like so easy to like go figure out how you can incorporate another tool with like the knowledge that you already have, right? Um, so, and it's like if you become comfortable with a cloud platform, you can go like, oh, one day I'm doing Data Factory, the next day I'm doing AKS, the next day I'm doing freaking Azure Functions. You know, it's it's hard. Here's more info on that first question that we had. My VPC environments are in my AWS account. I did a few websites in S3 that I was paid for, but I was not actually hired, so I don't know if that counts as experience. I have a very deep understanding. All right, so it sounds like you have the experience. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get this certification. So your best bet is to one, make sure your projects are documented on GitHub and you have them. You have a good README there. That way, you know you can put those on your resume and you'll be able to speak to them. You still didn't let us know if you have any like tech experience, even if it's not cloud. Like, do you have help desk, sysadmin, software, any kind of tech experience? It's itself. I'm not gonna say that you can't land a role in cloud without any tech experience because you know anything is possible. I'm just saying that it's probably gonna be harder. But yeah, have your projects documented somewhere, and then in your resume, make sure you have a link to the GitHub repo where those projects live. Yeah, list like your top 2 or 3, like the ones that you know the best or the ones that you feel like are the best to showcase for that role that you're going for. List them there. Be able to speak to them in and out. Get your certification. You know, obviously have a custom cover letter if you're really excited for the job or the role, and then make sure you tailor your resume as well. That should probably do it. And then just obviously make sure that you know, like the stuff that the job description is asking you for. I don't know, Rich, if you have any other advice there.
Yeah, I think no, those are great tips, and from the comment, it looks like you already have like good understanding because you had multiple websites deployed. Um, yeah, make sure you know that inside out, the decisions that you made on picking certain services. What was the reasoning behind that, so that if you're questioned, you're able to explain that. Um, Apart from that, I think you covered it pretty well, Gwen.
Yeah, for everyone in the chat, I'm gonna ask y'all to make sure you like the stream. That way, we can get as many people as we can in here, and then answer all the questions that we can.
Mhm.
Because we might. I don't know if we will do these weekly every Sunday. I mean, they're pretty easy to do, but then I also like hate like saying like every Sunday because then I'm like, well, what if I don't want to do it? But I guess you know that's part of being an adult and committing to things. But yeah, make sure you like it so we can get more people here and answer as many questions as we can. We're gonna be hanging out for like I don't know, maybe another 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Gage Tool Unlimited says, hello all. What is up? Hello to you as well. Here's a great one for you, Rishabh. How does one become an AWS Community Builder? Any tips? Do you have any tips, Rishabh?
Start putting out content.
Wait,
That's what I would say.
Can you apply or do you have to be nominated?
No, oh
you
yeah,
apply,
yeah.
right?
No, you can apply, and I'll share. Just trying to get my screens right. But yeah, I would say start writing. Like, if you're not good with, not good, I want to say if you're hesitating towards like video based content, start writing out blogs, notes, stuff like that. If you're completely like focused in AWS and are exploring AWS, like write about your learnings. That's how I got in. Like I didn't put out anything that was not already out there. It was just me saying, okay, today I launched a VM, and I just put like my notes or an article stating that. And then I deployed my own personal portfolio on S3. So I explained that in a blog post. So when I applied for the Community Builders program, I just included examples like such for that, and I was selected. So I think I only had like one video where I was explaining EC2 stuff, and that was it. All of the other stuff was just blogs and notes. So yeah, make sure you have that. And I think they're looking for people who like share knowledge and make content around AWS. So if you have that, it's easier, I think, to get accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And then they do have. So if you just Google AWS Community Builders, they do have a dedicated page, and you can add yourself to waitlist because I think they're closed now. Yeah, the application form for this program is closed, so it will open in early 2020. So yeah, make sure you're in the wait list. There are a few benefits to be part of the community builders. The first thing is like you're a community builder, so you're acknowledged by AWS. You are part of few of you have early access to get to see like demos and stuff like that that are not public yet. The services that are upcoming, you get credits and stuff in regards to like I think you get around $500 for AWS for a year.
For a year?
For a year, so you could make your content and stuff and like learn about new services.
And just overall gain experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I haven't ran out for my previous credits. I think I only
Does
used
it roll
like
over?
I think so. And then you get 500 for like upcoming years. But it is like they renew your community builder status every year, so you have to reapply and show them what you did in that year. What else? Yeah, and then you can talk to like SMEs or subject matter experts.
You can
Like if you
network.
want to know, yeah, if you want to know
Everything.
more about Amplify, or if you want to know more about, I don't know, load balancers and stuff, you have access to the right people at AWS.
Yeah, I would. Each cloud has these programs.
Hmm.
Microsoft has the Microsoft MVP program, which is nomination based. You'll have to have someone nominate you, and that way you can
Yeah.
get accepted into it. I highly and there's a lot of student programs too.
Oh yes.
Like there's a student ambassadors program at Microsoft. I don't know what they're called at any other ones, but I think they have them as well. I highly recommend every single person to aim for this because you're getting inside access into a network of people who work at the company that I don't know if you
Hmm.
work there, but you have like access to them. You get credits. When I was a Microsoft MVP, because I was in Azure, I had $12,000 in credits. $12,000 in credits. And I was exploring every single service. I service bus $1,000 things a month. I didn't care because I wasn't paying for it. Explore this, explore. I want to spin up a bunch of like premium Azure functions just to see how it works. Go spin it up. I didn't care, right? You get swag. You get like
Oh yeah.
monthly meetings on like products that you can like choose to like,
Hmm.
hear more about, so you can have like before time access on that kind of stuff. And it's free. Like all you have to do is like document your learnings and sort of build your personal brand and all that kind of stuff. And then you also get to meet people because I was a Microsoft
Oh, I
MVP and
forgot
I
about
was
that. Yeah.
you meet people who can sort of later like they get to know you, they get to know your work, and they later can like refer you to roles. Again, like I mentioned all the time, for all the roles that I applied to Microsoft, I had a referral for each one of them, though I was rejected for the two roles before I got this one. I was been a referral. That way I at least knew that my resume was gonna like someone was gonna take a look at it. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't just gonna be automatically like a no, right? And these are the things that you gain by joining these programs. They don't cost you anything. They just cost you like work and time. But I mean, you're gonna be making projects anyway. You're gonna be building stuff on your GitHub. You're gonna be
Hmm.
documenting stuff somewhere. Like why don't you just put that like be smarter about it, strategic about it, like put it out there, right? Here's a good question. I know nothing about GitHub or README. I guess I got some research to do. Yeah, GitHub is where if you work in tech anywhere, any documentation or project of some sort needs to be on a GitHub repository. I mean, there are others. There's like Bitbucket, there's GitLab and stuff like that. GitHub is just like sort of like the most popular one, which
Yeah,
is
the
why
most common, most
yeah,
popular, easy to use so far that I've used multiple platforms when it comes to Git. But yeah, just in general, learn Git and like version control systems, and then because GitHub is free for personal use, you start exploring it, and
yeah,
you learn more about README.
yeah, definitely. And like a cool README, like to learn about READMEs is like do your own. Like you'll have your own user profile one. Like
Yeah.
if you go to github.com/made by GPS that's like my personal readme. It's very simple. Some people have some crazy readmes out there, which is like it kind of reminds me of like, did you ever use MySpace when you could like customize your MySpace and stuff like that? No, it kind of reminds me
No.
of that. But yeah, GitHub
Yeah.
and use readmes to document your projects. It's like a
And
no-brainer.
when you get to that point, I do have a video on how to customize and have a fancy README for your
Yeah,
profile.
there you go.
Go check it out.
How complex of projects do companies want to see? I made a WordPress blog and was gonna put TerraStruct diagrams with explanations of my projects. That good enough? What is TerraStruct?
It's a library, I think. I don't know if it's Python or Go.
Uh-huh.
I'm confused between TerraStruct and there is another thing called Terra something. And you can build your infrastructure diagrams, I
Oh, nice.
believe. I
Yeah.
used TerraGrunt before, but that is totally different service.
How complex of projects do companies want to see? I think for entry level, it isn't necessarily how complex. It's more of like how comfortable you are about speaking these projects. If you're documenting them in a blog, any kind of blog, like Dev2, Hashnode, you can even use GitHub to document stuff. Explanations of my project, is that good enough? I would say that's good enough. It's just like as long as like you're comfortable with like being asked sort of any question around the project. That's really what like people like they're gonna look for. It's not necessarily like like you have to build out like the most sophisticated microservices in production kind of environment now. Like they're not gonna expect you, especially for entry level. One thing I will say is like make sure these projects like okay, I understand you having diagrams and stuff like that, but make sure you're actually implementing these and like they live in GitHub. If you can have live demos, fantastic. Like if you have it already deployed somewhere, fantastic. If it's something that's like going to cost you too much to maintain, okay, then don't have it deployed, but have like the code and the infrastructure as code and all the project files in a repo, right? I don't think diagrams by themselves are enough because, you know, anyone can make a diagram. It's more about like the implementation, right? So just keep that in mind.
So TerraStruct has nothing to do with Terraform. It's a diagramming tool crafted to visualize software architecture using
It's like
general purpose. Yeah, it's more like it's they compare it to Google Docs. So it's diagramming tools that feel like coding on Google Docs. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, diagrams are great. I love making diagrams, but my diagrams usually come after like
Yeah. Same
I've
here.
like I have like a starter diagram. It's like this is what we're going for, and then at the end, it's like it ended up being like this, and here it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but the starter diagram for me especially, it's just like scribblings.
yeah, exactly. It's like I
But
have an
then
idea what it wants to be, but yeah. Anyway, here's the next one. Helmet Chili Gaming. What percentage of the cloud market do you think GCP will be in 2025? That's like I don't know, a few years from now. What's it at now? Like 13%, 15%?
I don't have any idea. The last I read, the numbers I read was 12 point something.
Is it Azure like Azure and GCP pretty close?
Cloud. I don't think so. Azure, I think, gained a lot in like 2020 and 2021.
Yeah. I would say like I think this might be an interesting thing to like know, but if you're worried about it like niche, like there's like don't worry about it. The fact that you know any cloud is gonna be enough for you to like become someone that you
Yeah.
can hire, right?
So April 2021
Okay.
is the last, like the first Google image that showed up is AWS is at 32.
Okay.
Azure is at 19.
Okay.
And then Google Cloud is at 8.
Okay. Interesting. I could see that going, and then like the rest is just like a bunch of different
Others, yeah, because you have
IBM,
Alibaba,
Alibaba.
Oracle, DigitalOcean, Linode, and
32, and then Azure is. Wait, you said AWS is 32.
yeah,
Azure is at 18.
yes,
Wow,
19.
it's getting up. It's come close. I can see a world where it like honestly, I think they're gonna probably maintain.
Yeah.
But when you think, but also like think about this, like just because it's 8%, it doesn't mean like it. You know that might sound small, but that's still like thousands and thousands of jobs. You know.
Oh,
Right?
definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So like I don't know. What do you think it'll be at by 2025? I could see it being I don't know, like 10.
Yeah, close to that. Like it'll be in double digits, so like 10, 11, can be 12. So here's the thing, because 2025 is so far, it depends on
It's only like
how
3 years.
Google plays strategically with their providings, right?
Yeah.
Because especially for Azure, I know it has been a great year. They're close to 20% now, so
Stop
they only
saying
have
that.
like 10% left uh, to like come up to AWS.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
think of it where it was like only like 2 years ago, like the massive
Oh,
like jump we've done, right?
yeah.
Honestly, I see it being more of like each one has its niche. I think because
Mm,
Google has amazing when it comes to container stuff.
yeah.
Google has it like down, like just like it's so great.
Hmm.
Azure has a hold on enterprise, with 365 with AD and stuff like that, where it's just like
Yeah.
that's like is our thing, right?
And their virtual desktop thing
Is amazing, right? And then AWS has like obviously because they were before, uh, and they have sort of like a whole like startups like always want to use AWS, right? They have sort of like that world in it. I could see each one of them sort of overlapping and sort of like trying to like break into each other's niche,
yeah.
and stuff like that. But I don't think one is going to be like the best cloud to use for absolutely everything, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. So that I mean that's my I guess prediction. Sorry if I'm asking too many questions.
Oh
No,
no.
ask. This is what we do these
Yeah.
live streams for. Ask absolutely everything. Daniel says, "What's up, party people? I stopped my studying on Azure for this live chat. Yeah,
I have a
take a break.
question
It's
for
good to
you,
take a break.
Daniel. What are you
Yeah,
studying for? Is
yeah,
it a certificate?
yeah. Tell us what you're studying for. I want. Are we gonna do the study? I don't know. I keep trying to commit myself to doing a study group, but I
Let's
don't know if I
let's
want to.
figure it out next year.
I have experience in data science. I would like to know if it would be easy to switch to cloud engineering position. Okay. Data science. So that means you have some sort of programming skills. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's your background with programming? If you have some data science, that means you probably have some projects. You probably have some experience with like version control, some CI/CD, probably no infrastructure as code. But tell me a little bit more about the things that you're capable of doing, like what's your current skill set, and then we can sort of guide you into like what's kind of missing there. But there's also like there's cloud computing, and you can be a specialist when it comes to data, like databases and data administration and just overall data science, or data in general. I'll say data in general because it's like an area that I don't know too much about. So you can learn how to like use data science services in the cloud, which is like very very lucrative at the moment. Data science in the cloud. But like, tell us a little bit more about what you currently do, and then we could probably like sort of like pinpoint some things to work on. I managed to get my solutions architect certification, but I feel like I don't know enough and have enough experience to get a job. Any advice? Do you have any tech experience at all? First, tell us that. Yeah, this is the thing with like certifications. Like you and I, Rishabh, like agree. It's like they aren't enough to like land jobs. And there's like people who push the narrative like get more certs, get more certs, get more certs, and like put them on your resume. And it's like, no, it doesn't really necessarily get you anywhere. 1 to 2, and then a bunch of projects is probably like your best bet. I feel like I don't know enough and have enough experience to get a job. Okay, so yeah, and also like a certification like the solutions architect one, it's fantastic, but it's also very broad and very general.
Yeah.
And it's like you gotta kind of like work your way backwards. It's like find a role that you're interested in, and if you don't really know where to start from there, it's like typically we'll say like, all right, let's like probably one of the easier ones, entry level cloud roles is like cloud administration. All right, from there you go look up some cloud admin or cloud support roles, and then kind of get the job descriptions. And typically you're going to be asked learn Linux, networking, scripting, cloud platform, DevOps. Those are kind of like areas that you need to like become familiar with. The solution architect is going to give you an introduction to a cloud platform, but there's sort of other areas that you need to like supplement with. And then you need a bunch of projects. I would say you should have at least like, I don't know, like 2, 3 for your resume, documented, and you know them in and out. And then if you still have no job experience in tech, we're big fans of saying like start in a support role, start at help desk, put a year and a half in, get your certs, get your projects, stuff like that. So you have like some sort of income coming in. And then you leverage the experiences, the situations, the documentation skill set that you learn, and then help desk role. Like, if there's any sort of scenarios that stick out to you where you got good feedback or you got bad feedback or you handled teamwork properly or stuff like that, like document those somewhere. That way when you do interview for cloud roles, they're going to ask you stuff like that too. You can like go ahead and like answer those questions. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can do, but like certification is a good start, but it's definitely not enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I think no, those were some great points. like go through well architected frameworks, build yourself a good project, know it
Yeah.
inside out. If you already have like some sort of technical experience, like build an app, try to like architect it using those frameworks. Um, and yeah, just like advocate for yourself and like maybe like have it well documented in GitHub too. Like
Mm-hmm.
each and every service is well defined and how it interacts, and like GPS said, have diagrams and stuff. But yeah, if you're starting out, I think help desk is a great start, and like most of it, Gwen covered it pretty good.
Darn it, I was gonna say something else that I forgot.
My bad.
Totally forgot. All right, I don't know if I remember, I'll mention it too. But anyway, I could see it maybe going to 12%, and of course Alibaba will have a huge market in Asia. Asia's a whole different beast, man. Like I was just
Yeah.
listening to like this podcast about like metaverse and how like how I guess specifically like China, which is like a massive market, they have kind of like their own version of the internet, right?
Yeah.
Microsoft has a cloud there, but it's not called Azure. It's called something else. Like everyone sort of has like their flavor of cloud and like stuff like that. Obviously, Alibaba is probably going to have a bigger
Mhm.
usage over there and stuff like that. I don't know. It's wild. I was just
Yeah. Just to be clear, Alibaba sits at 6%.
6%.
So GCP is at 8%. So there's only like
Wow.
2% difference. And then you
That's
have IBM sitting at 5. You have Salesforce at 3%, and then you have another one from Asia that's Tencent Cloud sitting at 2%.
Tencent. Is that
Yeah,
like what
they
was I gonna
do
say?
have a couple of games like PUBG and
Who owns TikTok? Oh, ByteDance. ByteDance. Hold on,
yeah.
that's a different one. If they ever had a cloud, I'd be on that. All right. David, I currently work at IT support at an Amazon warehouse. Cool. I'm trying to move to AWS and work with the cloud. I'm currently working on my AWS certs. Yeah. We have a very, very well documented guide that I'm going to put on here. Learn to cloud.guide. It's sort of like how we would teach ourselves cloud if we had to start from scratch. And this is like built on our experience. Rishabh going from help desk to now DevOps engineer. I went from help desk, and neither of us, we're like self-taught, no college degrees. I went from help desk to sysadmin, cloud engineer, solutions architect, and now cloud advocate at Microsoft. And we sort of like came together and we're like, hey, let's write a guide because people ask us all the time. So go check that out. And that's like, there's like so much information there that we can cover in this entire stream. Cool. We're getting more questions. Fantastic. Everyone, make sure you like the stream, and we can get more people, answer more questions, and make the best use of this live stream here. But let's see. All right, so you're gonna go to learn-to-cloud.guide. You said you're working on certs. Yeah, certs are fantastic, but remember that it's all about the project work, and it's also like if you sort of like the Learn to Cloud is built on like a couple of like phases. If you have all those, you're gonna like stick out more. You're gonna make yourself more competitive as well because you're gonna know things that most people like assume like, oh, you don't need this for cloud, but you do. Right?
You do,
So
yeah.
take a look at that. AZ 900, nice,
Nice.
fantastic certification to get started for cloud. Was that available when you started learning? Was AZ 900 your first Azure cert?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I none of the entry level certifications were a thing when I started. Cloud,
Okay.
but I'm glad they're like a thing now, right?
Yeah. And they have changed it a lot. Especially like I took it 2019. Yeah, 2019, late 2019, and they have changed it a lot. Like when I look at the content, I'm pretty sure it's up for renewal too. So I'll have to take it. But that's what I liked about. So when I got AZ 104, they renewed it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that they did that, but
Yeah, I don't know. My 900 I took in 2019 as well, or maybe 2020. Was that
mhm.
last year or 2 years ago? I can't remember. I'm not gonna. I don't renew any of my certifications really. I don't
Okay.
plan on renewing any of them.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna get like new ones, like other ones, but I don't
Yeah,
really
yeah,
care about 'em.
that's where I see myself too.
Oh, you have. All right. So your notes are. Do you have a banner with your notes?
Creating one.
We'll put them, or you can put them in the chat. It's up to you, whichever one's like better.
Yep, I just added them to
Oh, there you go. Notes.rishabh.cloud. Nice. See, we need like these easy URLs. Notes.rishabh.cloud. You got notes on like Terraform, Azure, AWS, GCP, or if you go
Very
to
cool.
yeah, if you go to learntocloud.guide and you go to the cloud section, there's a bunch of resources for cloud stuff
Hmm.
there too. Your notes are in there. We just cleaned that up too. Like I cleaned it up like 2 days ago.
Yep.
We're gonna be like structuring a little bit more of the DevOps section too, but there's like a bunch of stuff there that's gonna be helpful for y'all. Let's see, where are we at now? Okay, here we go. I love your channel. Thank you. I just graduated from university studying computer science. Wow, you're already ahead of all of us. I have just completed my AWS Cloud
Oh my
Practitioner.
God.
You're on a fantastic path so far, and AZ 900 passed both. Amazing. I'm planning to study towards my AZ 104 now. Fantastic. And the follow up here is this a good plan and any other advice? All right, so you have a degree in computer science. You already have these 2 certifications under your belt, and you're already studying towards your other one. Fantastic. With your computer science degree, I'm pretty sure you have projects that you've documented somehow because you've probably had like classwork and stuff around them or homework around them or whatever it might be. Amazing. Make sure those are publicly like sort of so you can reference them at interviews and you can link to them in your resume, stuff like that. You probably have a lot of hands-on with like stuff that you did for your coursework, so that's fantastic. Yeah, get your 104, and then, I mean, the benefit of degree is like there are some roles that you can probably like get into without having to like
Hmm.
start like we had to start in support because we didn't have degrees and we had to work our way up. The degree might like get you like more of a chance of being able to apply straight into cloud roles if you're interested in cloud.
Yep.
But that, I mean, honestly, yeah, that combination of comp sci degree, you got your entry level certification, now you're going for 104, fantastic.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think you're on a great path. Yeah, as Gwen said, you might already have some projects that you build. If any of them are eligible to be hosted on the cloud, make sure that you do that.
Get a
Document it
student
really
account.
good. Yeah.
If you have a student email, you can get a student account, and I think you get like more credits or something like
Hmm.
that. All the clouds have them.
Yeah, and
So
I think
yeah,
you get like the free tier is for a longer period too, as
yeah,
compared to like a general trial. Yeah.
yeah. Get hands on, get those projects. If you can have them deployed, amazing, right?
Yeah.
I love your concepts, GPS as well. My goal is to get into a cloud world this year and watch the new Matrix. It's a movie, right? Like a movie
Yeah,
that's coming out.
it's coming out after 20 years.
Did you see they did like some Unreal 5 engine thing with the
Oh,
Matrix?
yes.
That was
Crazy.
insane. I was like, I couldn't, like, at the very beginning I was like, I couldn't tell, like, wait, is this the engine
Is
or is
this
this
real?
yeah, and then the physics with the cars, oh my goodness, with like the collision and stuff like that. That thing is
Yeah. They have paid so much, like, it's so much attention to detail, especially when you crash and you see how. So, like, the damage and stuff is already great with like certain other games and like previous generation games, but the way the lighting comes in on
yeah.
certain aspect of the car is just, it's so real.
The realism,
Um,
it's just insane.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
watching that and I was like,
yeah.
this is amazing. If
I
this is
saw
what the
some people
metaverse is,
commenting like, yeah, GTA 6 should be built this way. I'm like, it's probably gonna be, it's probably gonna be built this way.
that's why they're taking so long.
Yeah,
Substream, how's everything going so far? Yes, chat. Be sure to
love your
drop all your
username.
questions.
It's
Yeah,
like
hurricanes.
hurricanes.
Here we go. Hey guys, first time watcher of your stream. I'm currently desktop support, awesome, our absolute favorite, but interested in the cloud. Any basic projects to get my feet wet? Yeah. Well, welcome to the stream, Andrew. Learn2cloud.guide, we have a section on cloud platform, and there is a list of projects there that you can go and take a look at and sort of get your feet wet with the cloud. If you're in desktop support, it means you're already building your resume. So that's fantastic. And, there's a lot that you learn there, documentation, ticketing, your people skills, all that stuff. It might seem tedious. It might seem annoying. It might seem like I hate this job. But trust me, like we've been through it. And a lot of that works towards like when you go to interview and being able to just speak to your skills that you develop in help desk. So yeah, take a look at this guide and go to the cloud section. I mean, the whole thing is going to be useful because, I don't really know what you're learning in your help desk role. Like it's going to be different for everyone.
Yeah.
But just sort of get a feel for what you're missing and get hands-on with those projects. Or should we got anything to add for that one?
No. Yeah, I don't. The only thing I can add is there are more projects coming to learn to cloud guide.
Yeah, we're like
So
hustling. I know you're hustling a lot. I'm gonna
yeah.
shift my focus next week to like this week actually to add as many projects as I can. Um,
But
cause
yeah,
like
we already have some good ones in there, so go check it out. But yeah, just to like if you get bored and you're like, yeah, I've done this, I need something else, there are more coming,
yeah.
which would involve like different kind of architecture and different services.
Yeah, yep. I guess just as like a sneak peek, we're sort of trying to get to like a way where we have several projects for like cloud admin, cloud
Hmm.
architecture, and cloud developer.
Yep.
So we'll get there. It's all in our free time, and we work full time, and we have lives, so it's kind of hard. But we're doing our absolute best. Sometimes I take a look at LinkedIn list jobs, but I nearly can't see. But DevOps positions, and they give this cloud small domain on the job descriptions. I'm sorry, I'm having a really hard time understanding this one.
Do you mean like you only see DevOps positions and you don't see cloud, or do you mean the other way around?
Yeah,
Um,
I mean DevOps
yeah,
itself is a role, so that's a thing.
yeah. That's why yeah, you're confused.
Yeah. Thanks for the advice. No problem. Games
In
games in the
Omniverse,
Omniverse NVIDIA will be like that. What's Omniverse? Is that different than Meta?
Metaverse,
I can't
Omniverse,
I can't keep up. Hi
Omniverse.
everyone. Which books do you suggest to learn to cloud architect? Go read the Well Architected Framework from every single cloud platform. That is a great start for you. Then more architecture, more architecture related books. I don't know any architecture related books besides that. But honestly, with that, there's so much content there. You're not gonna need more, to be honest. Do you know
Yeah.
any other, Bishop?
Um, Not really. I was Mike's AZ305 maybe,
Yeah, I guess
but
the
it's
con.
specific to like
Yeah,
yeah, the cert itself.
I say maybe content around the architecture certifications might be beneficial, but um, I would say like the
Yeah.
well architected frameworks of each
Yeah,
cloud is
yeah,
probably
those are
better.
way better. Yeah,
Yeah.
resource.
Here's one for you. You a baddie, Rishabh. That comment's for you.
Okay.
Andrew, thank you for the advice. No problem. Okay, NVIDIA's version of the metaverse, Omniverse.
Yeah, I was just checking it out. It looks pretty sick.
I mean, I'm pretty sure NVIDIA's gonna have like a massive part in that because they have all the graphics stuff, right? I
Mm.
mean, I don't think you're ever gonna be able to get a graphics card for like the prices that they used to be.
No,
What do you think? No.
no. Yeah, so I just lent my older RX 580 8 gig card,
Mm-hmm.
um, and because they were looking for it, and someone in my family, and they were like, "Oh, this thing goes for around $800." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "So you're saying I can make $800 by selling this two
How
hundred
much
fifty dollar card?"
you
I
bought it for
bought it
two
for
fifty?
250 in 2018, early 2018.
And now you could sell it for like what three
So
times
it's
that?
like, yeah, it's like 2 generations old, and I can still sell it for 800. Awesome. But then when I look at getting like a 3060 Ti or a 3080,
Like $3,000.
I'm like, I'm just gonna keep this, and this works fine for me. I don't want any extra FPS and stuff. But yeah,
Dude, that whole
yeah.
demand thing is just like
I
crazy.
felt so guilty for 3 days after spending $700 on my new. So this is an AMD card. It's a 6600 XT.
Mhm.
And I felt so guilty. I don't know why. I'm like, I built an entire machine in 2018 for the same amount of money that I spent just on a card.
Yeah, I think the days of like building machines for like under 1 grand are
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
it's
they're gone.
done. It's done.
Yeah,
It's sad.
it is.
Cause it's like you used to be able to like get so much out of like you think of like a typical consumer laptop. Let's think of like a MacBook, right? Average like $1,500. You used to get so much more for that amount of money
Oh,
with like building a
definitely.
custom PC, right? But now
Yeah,
you're better off like I mean obviously you can't game on a Mac, right? But if you're looking for like video editing and stuff like that or content creation, Like you might be better off like going for a
Yeah,
laptop instead of like
no, for
building your own
sure.
thing, right? It's
And
sad.
for the past 3 years, that's what I have been using is my
Laptop?
$750. No, it's my $750 custom build.
Oh,
That is
okay.
like it had a decent CPU, it had a decent card, it had like 64 gigs of RAM. Like, what could I ask for more? Um, because I looked at going the Mac route, and now it makes sense because the new Macs are so powerful, and when you
They're
go out to
amazing.
build, and when you go out to build a system, it's around same price range. If anyone is trying to get into PC gaming or like getting like a good beefy machine, pre-builds are the best choice right now.
NZXT. That's where I got
Yeah,
mine. Like I got like the streaming one
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
can't remember how much exactly. But like the cart it was like the price of the whole thing was like just the same as like buying the card individually. I was like, I'm of course
Oh,
I'm gonna get
okay.
this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
heck yeah, I'm gonna get this
And
thing,
now they
right?
have a builder's kit, something called a builder's kit. So they send you the components
Yeah.
themselves and you build it yourself. And they have a really good comic book type of guide that is like it's a quest
Yeah.
and you're on a quest of building a PC.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so if you're getting into building custom PCs, go check out NZXT. We are not sponsored by them in any way.
But if they want to sponsor us, I bought mine already built, and it came in like you ever seen those those like they're like packaging, but you have to pop them and then they inflate to like take up the space. So
Yes.
it came with one of those, but like I was like I've always wanted a custom PC, but I have no interest in like plugging in the individual components. I just have zero interest in that. And then someone told me like go to NZXT and you can buy it and they'll literally ship it built. The only thing I had to, obviously I had to take it out. I had to like plug in the like the Wi-Fi antennas and stuff like that, the power cord. But like it was so nicely shipped and it was like so careful. The glass was intact, all that kind of stuff. It was amazing, dude. Freaking
Yeah, I
amazing.
guess yeah, they had it inflated because of the components inside it, like the graphics card and stuff, so that they don't like bounce around when they're shipping and
Yeah, it
yeah,
came really well, really
nice,
really well.
nice.
I bought my AMD GPU 400, and now it sells for 1,000. See, people
Yeah.
can make some money out of it. I thought there were so many GPUs for that price. I wish I would have bought more. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that thing is like we're never gonna go back to that,
Yeah. And
unfortunately.
that's why I'm not selling. Like I know I can make money, but the value that it holds, just like me having and I'm able to game on it. Like I don't
Yeah,
have to go out and get a 3060. I'm fine with that.
yeah, my 2060 is like it's gonna be great for a couple years. I'm
Yeah.
fine. Like I'm not doing anything intense. I don't need freaking uh top of the notch.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
Alpha
yeah.
has like a 3080 Ti. Like I don't. What would I do with that? I would watch like Netflix. Like,
Yeah, and we are not like pro gamers. We usually play some shooting games when we are, or we play FIFA.
yeah, we play
Why would
FIFA.
we need 120 plus FPS on FIFA?
What kind of games do you need for that though? Like maybe like if you're like if you're
So
like
I play,
competitively playing.
yeah, I play a lot of Warzone, and I'm like only decent at it.
Hmm.
So I see the difference when when I play it on my brother's system, where I am able to only get like 70 FPS, whereas my system can push through 120, like so almost the double. I see the difference, but I only see the difference until like 120. So I played on someone else's system that was pushing out 200 FPS, and I couldn't tell the difference to my
Yeah,
eyes. Like it seemed the same. But yeah.
yeah. I don't know. To me, it doesn't necessarily make a big difference.
Hmm.
But I think we got all the questions. We've been doing this for an hour. I'm kind of tired anyway, so we call it. I think it's gonna be the last stream for this year.
For
Actually,
holidays, yeah.
yeah, and then we gotta take a break. We gotta go work on Learn to Cloud, get more projects out, but that'll be like behind the scenes. In terms of like streams, we'll probably be back, I don't know, second week of January. Back maybe we'll start maybe New Year we'll start doing them more like every week or something like that.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I guess that's it for this one. Everyone go check out Learn to Cloud. the majority of questions that you've asked in this chat, you could probably find answers there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, peace out, everyone.